work on finding your own style. If I had one piece of advice to give my young roasting self, it would be exactly that. Spend a lot of time figuring out who you are as a roaster. I remember I used to spend hours trying to copy other people. I used to trawl the internet looking at other people's profiles and trying to figure out exactly what they were doing. And maybe that was wrong. Now, it's useful to reference what you're doing against others, especially in the internet age where there's so much information available. I mean, if we peel back 15, 16, 17 years when I first thought about getting into roasting, there wasn't an awful lot of information out there. However, what was there was clouding my mind because I was more focused on trying to emulate people rather than figuring out who I was. What I didn't realize at the time was most of the information that people were giving was proportionate to themselves. If I'm roasting on this loring behind me, the information that I give is specific to this piece of equipment and not necessarily specific to you. I might be able to give you concepts, but I'm not going to be able to tell you how to roast the coffee that you've got in the equipment that you've got. Now, the younger James had no idea of this. I was naive. I just wanted to find the quickest route to doing something good. And like everything in life, the quick path is never the right path. You must spend time in developing your understanding of coffee and, importantly, what to avoid. And maybe that's where this channel can assist you, is how to avoid certain things that are negative in roasting. So I'm talking avoiding things like tipping, scorching, underdevelopment, overdevelopment. These are the fundamental concepts that are important for you to learn, and other people like myself on the internet can guide you towards the position that is understanding how you wish to roast. I can't stress enough the importance of understanding as a new roaster or an experienced roaster that once you can mitigate roast defects, the rest is fair game. There's no right or wrong in roasting coffee, as there is in anything in life. As long as we can avoid the things that impart negative flavor on the cup so that our customers purchase something that is delicious, everything else is nuanced, and it's up to you to decide where you wish to be as a roaster in the presentation of flavor to your customers. So what would I focus on first? Well, understanding my actual roasting apparatus. I would take a coffee. I would focus on roasting fast. I would roast slow. I would try to understand the thermal capacity of my equipment. How quickly can I get to a certain point in temperature and time? How slowly can I get to the same point? How can I manipulate temperatures over time? And of course, I would cup everything. Cupping coffee, referencing flavor is really important. And as we walk through these processes, we're building up an understanding of what roasting coffee is and where our wishes and desires may be. I'd also drink lots of coffee. Drinking your coffee, other people's coffee, will help you understand exactly what you enjoy consuming. And that's where I would then wish to pursue. It would be formulating plans around my roasting in order to reach this particular endpoint that you enjoy. And you'll only find that out by consuming as much coffee as possible in lots of different apparatus and brew methods. Of course, cupping, that's the basis of everything that you will do as a coffee roaster, but we must also understand the interpretation of that in the brewed beverage. And it's the brewed beverage that the consumers will purchase, and it's that will be an extension of your style. So buy lots of coffee from other roasters and understand which presentation of flavors you particularly enjoy. And if you want to use that as a breadcrumb trail, that is how you would focus on developing your own particular style. It was through consuming other roasters' coffee that I understood that I particularly like lightly roasted, well-balanced coffee that has to be highly soluble so that I can brew it in a multitude of different ways. I wasn't necessarily pursuant of omni roasting, but I did have a desire for everybody to enjoy the coffee in every single brew apparatus. So that was my focus. And I only got to that point through discarding what other roasters were doing on the internet and focusing on the thing that I was enjoying most consistently when I was drinking coffee from other roasters. So I hope that's what this channel will ultimately do, is give you some direction so that you can find your natural endpoint with your specific style of roasting. I will try and impart some knowledge on how to roast on the Loring and possibly how I did roast on the Probat, so that you can mitigate roast defects and be comfortable in developing your own style of roasting.